Hey friends, Dave here with Stahls, and today we're talking about one of the biggest style trends out there right now, and that's oversized and boxy tees. So today we're going to be covering how you could confidently print transfers larger than your heat press for the best professional results. You've seen these in streetwear, you've seen them in band merch, you've seen them all over social media, and the good news, this oversized and boxy tee trend is a gold mine for decorators, if you know how to approach it, how to sell it, and how to deliver exactly what your customers want. So in this video, we're going to be teaching you how to do it all without the stress or guesswork, and we're going to cover everything so that you could confidently sell and decorate these tees, from picking the right blanks to print sizing and artwork positioning, and everything you need to know, along with some real-world tips and tricks along the way. So if you're ready to learn something today, let's get right to it. Now, oversized and boxy tees aren't just big t-shirts, right? Although commonly purchased, in some cases, one size up, they're actually built a little different. Number one, they're always going to have a heavier fabric, so 6-ounce cotton or above. They have a roomier cut, kind of dropped shoulders, and a boxy silhouette that hangs away from the body. You'll see all the kids, or pretty much anybody 35 years or younger, wearing these tees. I'm over 35, so I also wear these tees. Not right now though, right? But right now it is the look for streetwear brands, festival merch, sports fan gear, and even high-end retail. Customers love it because they're comfy. It's relaxed, comfortable, and really makes a statement with what prints are on there. And like I mentioned, you've probably seen it already, or maybe even your customers are asking for these styles. Now, regardless if you're printing for your own brand or others, it's really not too complicated to absolutely crush this style, vibe, and trend. But the right look starts with the right shirt. So the canvas here is going to play a big part. So you're going to want to look for heavyweight boxy style tees, which is most of the time in the description. And these range from that 6 to 8 ounce cotton in weight. They have these sturdy collars and maybe even a wider or that boxier cut, right? Some cases, they'll even be called cropped, right? Where they're essentially just taking the bottom hem up a couple inches so it hits right at the waist. Now, thinner fabrics here don't necessarily drape in the same way, so when you try to pass those off as an oversized or boxy tee, they actually just kind of look a size too big and they're not that exact style. So, some great choices here are the Comfort Colors heavyweight tees. This is the Comfort Colors 1717 and has been a staple for college kids and beyond for quite a while. And while the secret's out on Comfort Colors, everybody loves it. It's garment dyed, sturdy fabric, and it has a lived-in feel. So yes, please, one of my favorite tees. Now the Gildan Hammer tee or the Hanes Beefy tee have been industry staples that blend that heavyweight cotton tee with affordability for just about any budget. Both good go-tos that are always widely available from a variety of suppliers. Now Bella+Canvas came into the market now with their brand new 3010, that's the 6-ounce heavyweight cotton tee, and it's a perfect blend of that classic Bella+Canvas comfort along with some contemporary styling. Now it does feature dropped shoulders and a boxy silhouette, and it's designed perfectly for what customers want right now today. Of course, one of my favorites, AS Colors Classic 5026 or the Oversized 5069. Now both of these clock in at 6.5 ounces in the fabric weight, and these cotton tees are all the rage and the personal favorites of my closet right now to wear. But of course, we also have to mention the Lane 7 LS 1600 GD. Now it is a 7.6 ounce combed cotton with a slightly cropped length and that boxy, relaxed fit. This is also a big favorite of my own, and we've actually used these in previous videos when showcasing our goof-proof screen-printed transfers. Now lastly, do have to mention the streetwear staple, Shaka Wear, with 7 to 9 ounce tees in a variety of different cuts, give you everything from that authentic 1990s feel to a much more contemporary cropped cut, all with the comfort that you want and expect from a retail quality tee. Now, before we press any shirts here at the heat press, order any of our transfers, or start designing our art, let's grab the smallest garment of what's going to be on the order. Yes, even if we are doing this all over huge print. Why, Dave? Well, because your design has to look good across all sizes, and the smallest shirt and your heat press are going to be what sets your limits. Now, a few key tips that'll eliminate any headaches down the road. Number one, try not to cross seams wherever possible. Seams create uneven pressure and can affect the final print. So say crossing the shoulder seams on the front of a garment, that's where you're kind of limited on those smaller sizes, because these seams could lead to some imperfections in the print. So it's best to try to avoid them in general. Now, the smallest size shirt is going to set those boundaries for us. Now, oversized all over prints that really max out the front or back of a shirt are usually in the range of 12 inches or wider. So 12 inches wide or wider. But the specific style of shirt you're going to use is going to determine that maximum, right? A dropped shoulder is going to be a lot farther apart than a typical shirt like the polo I'm wearing right now. Now, for large runs, keep the size of your heat press in mind too, for efficient, time-saving production. We'll cover more on that here in a minute, along with some tips for when those prints are inevitably going to be larger than your heat press. Now, with our Ultracolor Max direct-to-film transfers here at Stahls, you could print up to 22 by 22 inches, which is more space than we have on most shirts. So you're going to be covered for those big prints here at Stahls. Now, if you're looking for larger quantities on, say, single color artwork, check out our goof-proof screen printed transfers to seriously save on costs, right? They are available as 2 sizes of single images at Stahls.com, but you could get 12.5 to 17.5 inches in maximum size over at TransferExpress.com. Now, it's actually what we used here on these Lane 7Ts that I mentioned a little bit earlier, but you'll have to go watch that video to see how we printed these. Now, we did also say that we could print up to 22 by 22 inches, but many heat presses in the market are 16 by 20 inches or smaller. So, how do we print them? Well, it's actually not too tricky, but there are a few tricks of the trade to use for best results. First, even if our transfer is larger than the press, and we're going to have to do multiple presses, let's pre-press the entire print area before we lay any transfers down. Then, we could position our transfer on the garment and tape it if we're worried about the design shifting at all. I will say that this is a lot better done, say laid out flat on a table or on the floor where you could see the whole shirt and get your placement correct. Now, say your print here is wider than the heat press this way. Well, no problem. We could actually work from the side, rotate, and use that full 20 inches, now wide instead of tall, that we have here to work with. Now, that trick is awesome because you can see how if you have to do multiple presses, it can be a little time consuming, right? And so that's why keeping your heat press size in mind is actually really important. But say for like a 16 by 20 press like we have right here, we're going to want to size our design at least a ½ inch away from the edge of the heating element on each side. So that's going to limit our design size to about 15 by 19 inches. Still plenty large for most sizes of t-shirts. But we do have to cover pressing multiple times. While not necessarily recommended for those higher runs, if you're just doing 1 or 2 and this is the look that the customer wants, well, this is how you're going to do it. And we want to look at avoiding double pressing wherever we can. So we'll align our shirt to the press here, and we'll move the shirt only so that little bit, that strip right here, is getting double pressed. It's a lot better to overlap and double press a strip than leave a whole strip right here of our transfer not pressed at all. Now, say for a transfer that peels hot, like these Ultracolor Max DTF transfers, we're going to peel what we can right away, but we're going to stop before getting to any unapplied area. Here, I'm just lifting the carrier slightly from the farthest edge and then not pulling all the way, so we'll leave the carrier here when we shift our garment to print the rest of the design. Now, alternatively, Most direct-to-film prints are actually fairly versatile, Ultracolor Max included. So if you're worried about peeling too much, or after peeling that the design's gonna move or shift, or you don't have any thermo tape to keep it in place, you could definitely leave the carrier on and peel after everything is pressed. Now in some cases, some cold peel direct-to-film transfers leave a little bit more of a glossy finish on your designs, which of course could be remedied with a quick post-press with some paper or even another t-shirt over top. Now a few tips on these oversized prints before we move on to the big billboard style shoulder-to-shoulder prints is to avoid running off the edge of a garment. Now regardless of what heat transfer you use, place your transfer up to the edge and don't go over it. Now when we run off the garment, heat transfers, especially DTF, have a tendency to kind of tear where they aren't applied right at the edge. It doesn't look great and it's not exactly retail quality. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is time consuming to wrap that edge around the garment or fix any of those jagged edges. Now another tip, if you are using DTF, be mindful of any large areas of solid ink coverage. Now, regardless of how you're decorating a t-shirt, whether it be direct to garment or screen printing with regular Plastisol inks, any of those large, big, solid blocks can feel heavier and may not breathe as well. You're literally covering up a breathable fabric, right? So try to break up your designs and design them like a screen print if you want them to feel like a screen print. Put some texture on it, distress it, and use negative space as the garment color whenever possible. Now this is way less of an issue on the heavier you go weight tees. So those 6.5, 7 ounce, 9 ounce tees, you really can't feel the print when you're wearing it anyway. Now remember, DTF does totally work great for big, bold, and colorful designs, but you still need to press it with the right time, temperature, and pressure for the fabric that you're printing on, so don't ignore the application settings, okay? Over and on to our billboard prints now. They're definitely making a comeback, and even being featured on the front of shirts too. Not just that back, shoulder from one sleeve over all the way to that other sleeve that rose in popularity a couple years ago. Now one trick that works great for billboard style t-shirts is totally just turning the shirt sideways on your press. This lets you take advantage of that full 20-inch dimension without needing any special equipment or special techniques. If we do have to press twice on a design like this, we totally can. And it's actually a lot easier with text like this that you could cut so it's 2 presses and you could have a clean hot peel on each. What I recommend though is just to notch your cut to ensure the orientation is correct when laying the second piece. Nothing like having those letters offline with the first print, right? Now alternatively, you could also use something like a big, giant piece of cardboard to hold the entire printing area up too, so you're just essentially moving that around, not having to adjust and roll the garment on your platen. Just ensure it is all one big flat piece. Any seams, overlaps, divots, or corrugation in the cardboard are going to show up in your print. And of course, adding cardboard or any pad here is going to affect the pressure. So you're going to need to set it specifically for this use case if you go this route. Now with these prints, you'll commonly be pressing over seams, especially shoulder seams. And in that case, you could usually typically get away with it by bumping your pressure up to ensure the prints conform to the seam and the stitching. Now, in some cases of real thick seams, you could use something like a heat printing pillow underneath the garment to print over those seams a little bit easier. I only recommend that though for heat transfer vinyls and direct to film transfers. Unfortunately, screen printed transfers or hybrid transfers, the pillow here dissipates too much pressure for a quality application. But the oversized and boxy tee trend is a huge opportunity for decorators, and I hope you're confident to go ahead and get started printing those, along with those giant prints to match, right? And hopefully, you know exactly how to approach it now from a decorator's perspective. With the right blank, the right transfer, and the right technique, you could deliver those big, bold, beautiful designs that make your customers say, wow. And happy customers are repeat customers, and repeat customers help you build your business. But if you've got tips of your own, let us know down in the comments below. We love to keep the conversation going with small businesses and decorators just like you. And be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the heat printing tips, tricks, inspiration, and education that we're dropping every single week. Until next time, I'm Dave. Happy pressing.